Hello, YouTube. Um, the peak oil thing. First, I'd like to give my thanks, most of all to you, James. James, um, sometimes I panic, and more importantly, I don't panic, I despair, and you help me put things in perspective once again. This is probably the third time that you did that. um, Secondly, Varmint Coyote, I'd like to thank for introducing me to the concept of peak oil. Alright, in terms of switching over to alternative energy, I thought the most important thing was global warming, really, in terms of that. That we were running out of energy, I didn't think was that big a deal until I saw the real problems, exponential growth. I'd also like to give a big thanks to KPV2, who has given me a lot of new links uh, to read up on, and I've read them, and it helps put things in perspective. Um, uh, a lot of people commented. Uh, I'd like to thank uh, mostly Zen. You don't need. Um, well, the people who commented on my last video. I'd like to thank you for actually watching the documentary and responding to it. Sunny GLL, thank you. Yes, I am James. Uh, Basically, everyone who took the time to address my concerns. Hello, YouTube. This is how I feel. Now that I know it's not totally hopeless, that is, that was the worst case scenario, and we can prepare for the worst case scenario. But as they say, hope for the best, prepare for the worst, and expect nothing. I've now shifted some of my priorities. Alternative energies weren't something I was too worried about. While I don't think it's the end of the world by any means now, of course. I mean, I didn't think it was before. I just don't want to see billions die. Now I think that's become one of my most important concerns. It was way back there before, you know. But now the Occupy Wall Street movement means even more to me, because, you know, why we don't have an alternative energy. The oil companies can pay off the politicians. Now this Occupy Wall Street thing means more than just the economy. It could literally mean the survival of millions. So yeah, I'm gonna start looking up much more about alternative energy, understanding more about it, and I think if we push hard for alternative energies as a YouTube community, you know, they really aren't talked about much. Most people talk about, you know, other things like, you know, the religion thing and global warming and this and that, and then at the very end of that, they throw in, also, we should be getting into alternative energies because oil's not going to last forever. Well, that should be one of our biggest concerns right now. Of course, not in the future, but right now, because we are running out of oil. So, and it's not too late. We can push for alternative energies, and we can push hard. I suggest supporting the Occupy Wall Street movement, because the biggest thing they're trying to do is separate the business's ability to manipulate government. People talk about the unions and special interest. You and I both know that that's not what's actually happening. They might have some control, but most of that control is good. I do want a special interest group for gay rights. I want that. I want a special interest group for atheists and for religious too. I don't want um, religion to be made illegal. Um, as for unions, obviously I support unions. Is there some corruption? Well, there's going to be corruption in anything. But yeah, the idea of what a union is, I support it. But it's the businesses that are the businesses' ability to manipulate government, that's the problem, to buy individual politicians. Um, that needs to be addressed first, and it is being addressed, and it's becoming bigger and bigger. And it's, I know people are going to be like, but it's partially renewed my faith in America a little bit. A little, well, not faith, hope. My hope for America. Because I lost hope before, and you, James, is like, don't lose hope. And I'm like, okay. um, but the Occupy movement is bringing it back, but now it means even more. They don't know it, but they're fighting for alternative energy too, because again, it's the businesses, the oil companies paying a vast amount of money to not have to spend money on alternative energies. And they say, we're working on clean coal, whatever. That's bullshit. No, you're not. There's no clean coal, and even if there was, coal's still going to run out. Unless we want to wait millions of years for new oil and new coal to be produced in the planet, in which case that oil will probably be us. It is fossil fuels after all. But yeah, one of my biggest focuses now is going to be on alternative energy, because I think that'll save more lives than anything we've been advocating for. And I think I'd like as many people as I can get to make videos about that. Don't make it one of your bigger issues rather than a backseat issue, because it's the one, not the one issue, but it's one of the issues that actually stands to be probably the most important issue in this next century. Simply because of how many will die if we don't try to at least slowly convert rather than simply hitting a wall. So I think everyone here needs to make a decision. Do we leave alternative energy on the back burner? Or do we refit that oven so that the burners are running on ethanol? I don't know. I say we do that. So I'd like everyone to, everyone who is with me on this, please post a comment saying that you'll at least make, if all of us just make one video about alternative energy, just one, everyone who watches this video, please just make one video about alternative energy, just the way you advocate it, like you advocate secularism, or maybe debunking oil companies' claims. I'm going to do that. I'm going to make at least one video about this. And I'm probably going to get deeper into this, because again, yeah, the human race will survive, but I would rather those billions die from old age, as our population goes down to 2 billion over time. We see a slow decline. I don't want them all to die in one, all the people whose rights we're fighting for just die over a 50-year period because they don't have any food. I'd rather stretch that out 100 years and have most of them die of old age. Which I hear is the best way to die. So yeah, let's try to get to the singularity before we get to the oil peak. If you don't know what the singularity is, that's the best possible cases, best possible scenario, whereas peak oil is the worst possible scenario. Look up a documentary called Transcendent Man. But this was something I saw a while ago. But yeah, try to make the world a better place by at least making one video about alternative energy. And thank you everyone for your help. And I will too.